Welcome back to Foliage Loft. My name is Liam, and today I want to share with you my first plant purchase of 2021. So this is a plant that's been on my wish list for a pretty long time now, pretty much since I started collecting plants. Here it is, the Monstera Albo Borsigiana. So this is by far the most expensive plant in my collection, so I am a little bit nervous about taking care of this one. But I'm also really excited. I'll show you some pictures on the screen of some more mature versions of this plant that are much larger, and you can just see how amazing and beautiful they can look. This process will obviously take some time. I'm not expecting it to get that size for another year or two. So yeah, maybe you're wondering, why is this little plant with just one leaf so special and so rare? You know, I have so many other plants in my collection that are much larger and more impressive looking, that are many times cheaper than this. So in this video, I'm gonna talk a little bit about this plant and what makes it so special and so rare. So you may be familiar with the all-green Monstera Borsigiana or the more common Monstera deliciosa, and those plants have been pretty popular for quite a few years now. Monsteras are part of a much larger family of plants called aroids, and within the aroid family, I think Monsteras are some of the most interesting looking. They have these holes which we call fenestrations in the leaf, and this plant is commonly referred to as the Swiss cheese plant. And the Monstera deliciosa is very common. Right now you could walk into your local Home Depot or garden center and pick one up for about $15 to $20. So then what sets this plant I have here apart from the common Monstera that you can pick up for $20 at your local store? Well, the answer lies in the variegation. So the variegation can present itself in 3 different layers inside the structure of the leaf, and if it occurs in all 3 layers, you can get this really beautiful pure white color. If it's only in 1 or 2 of the layers, you get more of this mint green or light green coloring you'll see on the right side here. And because of this variegation, every single leaf that this plant produces is going to look unique. And the variegation itself is caused by a genetic mutation inside the plant. Some people have estimated that the chances of a Monstera becoming variegated is about 1 in 100,000. So this obviously pushes the price higher. So if I could make a comparison, it's kind of like those shiny Pokemon cards that everyone wanted when they were a kid. Obviously these cards themselves don't really have much inherent value, but the fact that so few of them are made and the demand for them is so high pushes the price way up. And it's the exact same situation with this plant, the Monstera Albo. So because so many people want these plants, but so few of them are actually available, this shoots the price up. And this variegation is just one factor of the equation as to why this plant is so expensive. These plants are also a little bit more difficult to take care of than a regular Monstera, so this also adds upwards pressure to the price. And another problem is that this variegation is actually not stable. So if there's not enough light, this plant can actually revert back to its original green form, in which case it's not really worth much anymore. On the other hand, this plant can also start pushing out leaves that are just 100% white, and while they look so beautiful, this is also not very good for the plant either. So these white areas on the leaves, while they are beautiful, they don't contain any chlorophyll whatsoever. So these areas of the plant do not help the plant to photosynthesize and create energy for the plant. So it's kind of ironic that so many people want this white coloring on the leaf when it's actually not at all beneficial to the plant, and it's actually detrimental to the plant overall. And that's why these variegated Monsteras need more sunlight compared to the non-variegated Monsteras. The Albo Monstera will need more sunlight hitting the leaves than a non-variegated Monstera to create the same amount of energy for the plant. So I'm going to place this guy really close to a south-facing window that lets in a ton of natural light, and I'm also setting up a small grow light above the plant just to supplement it. Right now we are kind of entering into spring, but we're still having some dark cloudy days, so I just want to have a little bit of extra light available for the plant. So yeah, you can probably tell why I'm nervous, because taking care of this plant is a very fine balancing act. You don't want the plant to revert back to its green form and lose the beautiful white coloring, but you also don't want the plant to push out all white leaves either. So I feel like I've been taking care of plants long enough and I'm experienced enough now to succeed with this plant, but I guess we'll see. So I definitely wouldn't recommend this Monstera Albo for a beginner plant person. I think it could be really discouraging if you spend hundreds of dollars on a plant like this and it died on you or reverted back to its green form. So if you really want a variegated Monstera, but you want something a little safer, check out the Thai Constellation Monsteras. Those ones have more of a creamy yellow color to the variegation as opposed to the stark white that's available on the Albo, but the variegation on the Thai Constellation is stable and it will not revert back to its green form. And the Thai Constellation cultivar is still pretty expensive, but it's not quite as expensive as the Monstera Albo. Now, if you do have your heart set on a Monstera Albo, there are a few things to look out for if you're going to buy one. So if you're buying a cutting like I did, you want to make sure that there's no rot on the stem where it's been cut. So the cut should just look like a dried kind of stick. It shouldn't be black or brown or mushy. And you also want to make sure that the stem has a lot of that white variegation as well. And that's going to show you that as the plant grows and pushes out new leaves, that those new leaves will also be variegated. And it's also much more preferable to get a cutting that has already been rooted. That gives you a much higher chance of success. The plant that I have here is rooted. I got confirmation through photos from the seller, and he did move the plant from sphagnum moss, which it was rooting in, into this chunky soil mix that it's in now. Well, I feel like I've been talking for long enough now, so I'll end the video here. I'll make sure I keep you guys updated on this very special plant purchase for me. And if I manage to kill this plant, I'll make sure to upload a video of me crying so you can all enjoy. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel and make sure you hit that like button down below. Thank you so much. See ya.